Hello, I'm Michael.
I'm Sally, and this is Wrestle MSX. The evening show opened up with the Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn heading to the ring, talking up his triple threat match with Bronson Reed and Chad Gable at the King and Queen of the Ring tournament on Saturday night. Sami said that Gable is the mind, Bronson Reed's the body, and he's the soul. He gets interrupted by Chad and his academy.
Before Gable had a chance to round on Zayn, he first called his academy failures, as is the norm these days. Sami asked the academy how much longer they're going to deal with his put-downs. "Don't talk to them, only I'm allowed to," shouted Gable. "I'm going to take your title and your soul on Saturday night," he added. Gable challenging his inner Undertaker. "Well, we ain't in Jeddah yet, and we have a match scheduled for tonight, so let's go," said Sami. And with that, the first match of the night got underway.
Tozawa and Dupri both had separate chances to hit Zayn while he was hanging out of the ring over the bottom rope, with referee distracted, but neither took the opportunity. Having seen this and feeling a bit let down by his academy, he told them to get out of here and dismissed them to the back.
Then the inevitable happened. A QR code. I'm just going to be glad when these things are blooming done. Anyway, just before the code flashed up, there was an image of the therapist from Thursday night's Twitch stream. This code, when scanned, takes you to the usual questions. Do you want to meet him? Do you want to be free? Do you want to be blah, blah, blah? There are all kinds of images and drawings. There's coding, the usual kind of thing. But one thing that we did notice was a date, or it seemed like a date, that was written on a drawing, and it was 522 WhatsApp. So I'm a hazard a guess that on May 22nd, something's going to appear on one of the WWE WhatsApp channels. Are we agreeing with that?
Yeah,
Something along those lines. I mean, seeing all this is great, don't get me wrong, but writing it is a real pain. Anyway, back from the break, we see a Michinoku driver from Chad and a cover for 2 before Zayn gets thrown out of the ring right in front of Otis. Gable distracts the ref as Otis walks up to Zayn, threatening to hit him, and he doesn't, which is a shame because I wanted him to clock him. Anyway, Sami gets away as Gable goes out to the ring to confront Otis. After giving him some verbal, he slaps Otis, grabs the belt, gets back in the ring and goes for Zayn. As he swings at Zayn with the belt, Sami ducks and hits Gable with an exploder. Sami then goes to the other corner to ready himself for the haluva kick, but Otis gets on the apron and hits Zayn. Obviously, the ref never saw this. Gable then performs Chaos Theory and pins Zayn for the win.
After the bout, Michael Cole mentions the QR code that popped up during the match. Pat McAfee said he thought it was on hallucinogenics because he's been seeing them for weeks and no one's mentioned them. Cole also spoke about the Twitch stream from Thursday night and the missing therapist.
Bron Breakker versus Kale Dixon. No, me neither. Is our next match. I say match, 3 spears and Dixon was dead. Well, the ref ringing the bell after Kale didn't move after the 3rd spear and being unable to continue. Bron had a point to prove, as if he hadn't already, and beat Kale up some more on the outside using a chair and some ring steps. Adam Pearce came out, sending Bron to the back. After the Breakker, you see what I did there, we see Bron addressing Pearce in the back, telling him he can't control him. I don't know why, but I just like Bron. I just like that sheer. He's not messing about. He's just getting a job done.
Fair enough.
And I like that kind of thing.
Raw's Queen of the Ring semi-final is up next with Iyo Sky against Lyra Valkyria. Iyo, of course, accompanied by Damage Control. A clean-looking crossbody got a 2 count for Lyra, then a Meteora gets a similar count on Lyra by Sky. A Fisherman's Buster then gets another 2 count on Sky by Lyra. The match was very even, no one gaining an advantage. Then the match was over. Well, we thought it was. A Tornado DDT by Valkyria, followed up by a Nightwing, looked to have put Sky away, but she kicked out on 2.5. Iyo regrouped, powerbombing Valkyria and then going up top for an over-the-moonsault. As Iyo came down, Lyra rolled out of the way and set up for the Nightwing. Just as Iyo was in the right position for the Nightwing, Sky slid down Valkyria's back to avoid the finisher, but found herself flat on the mat in a prone position. Lyra seized the opportunity, dropped to the mat and pinned Iyo's shoulders. The ref counted to 3 and Lyra Valkyria progressed to the final on Queen of the Ring.
I actually like Valkyria. I think she's alright, to be fair with
Yeah,
you.
she's good. I like her as well. Yeah.
Anyway, backstage we see R-Truth telling Miz he's asked André the Giant to watch their backs tonight when they face off against Finn Balor and JD McDonagh. Miz is dumbfounded, and to be honest, so am I. But he is comedy gold, on truth, and you've got to have that.
We then see Ilya Dragunov having a chat with Ricochet before Bron Breakker spears Ricochet into some backstage equipment.
Good old Bron. Lots of backstage action tonight, as we then see Balor telling Priest he wishes it was him and Priest in tonight's tag title match with Awesome Truth, and not him and McDonagh.
Back to ring action now, and it's the tag team title match, Awesome Truth singing their way to the ring, versus Balor and McDonagh of the Judgement Day. A double "you can't see me" elbow from the Awesome Truth is the highlight of the match. Then, as Truth goes for a cover on McDonagh, Carlito puts JD's foot on the ropes to break the count. Music then plays through the arena. It's not quite Andre the Giant, but it's Braun Strowman. He storms down to the ring, throws Carlito out of the way, and then chases JD around the ring. JD escapes into the ring, only to find the waiting Truth, who hits him with an AA and covers him for the win. Awesome Truth retain their titles.
Liv Morgan then hits Lyra Valkyria when backstage, cause storyline, and we also see Bronson Reed telling Sami Zayn all he cares about is business before leaving. Otis then rocks up and apologises to Sami for costing him the match earlier. Zayn tells him to stop listening to Gable and start listening to them, referring to the crowd.
Next out is Becky Lynch. She addresses the crowd, telling them that Liv Morgan hasn't beaten her. Don't know how true this is, but I'll just assume that that's right. But this is a different Liv Morgan. Cue Morgan's music. Morgan came down to the ring but never got in. Becky said she wanted to break glass ceilings. Morgan said she was selfish. Lynch offered to fight Morgan right now. Morgan ran towards the ring but stopped short, telling Becky, "You gotta wait till Saturday."
We then see Judgement Day in their den. Damien Priest telling McDonagh to go to Adam Pearce and ask for a match next week against Braun Strowman.
Good luck.
A squash match incoming.
Next is a women's tag team fatal four-way #1 contenders match between Damage Control's Dakota Kai and Kairi Sane, Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark, Katana Chance and Kayden Carter, and finally Maxxine Dupri and Ivy Nile. Fast and furious and frantic is the only way to describe this match. Baszler and Stark won, and now they're the women's tag team #1 contenders.
Backstage, we see Ludwig Kaiser telling Kyla Braxton that Sheamus is just a keyboard warrior. As he walks off, Drew comes into shot, again calling Priest a paper champion, and then he's going to beat him when they meet in the ring.
We also see Chad Gable joking with the Creed brothers. In the background, we see Sonya Deville speaking to Baszler and Stark after their fatal four-way match. She did speak to them earlier, but Baszler wasn't interested, so something is afoot there. But back to Chad. After sharing a joke with the Creed brothers, Otis shows up and tells Gable that he apologised to Zayn. "Good," said Gable. "You're softening him up. I got your ticket for Saudi Arabia. We're gonna win my belt, right?" Otis was hesitant in agreeing.
Final bout of the night. Main event Jey Uso against Gunther in Raw's semi-final King of the Ring. It went as expected, Gunther taking early control, working on Jey's right arm. Gunther went up top, but Jey turned this into a Samoan drop from the top rope, followed by a crossbody for a 2 count by Jey. A spear, then an Uso splash, also only got a 2 count. As the two men got up from the mat, Gunther quickly locked in a sleeper hold. Jey faded, and the Austrian Ring General won, advancing to the final of the King of the Ring tournament, where he'll face off against either Randy Orton or Tama Tonga. That just about wraps up Raw for this week. We're looking to do a predictions video on Thursday of who we think is going to win the King and Queen of the Ring, and also obviously predict other matches along the way. But once again, thank you for watching.
And we'll see you again soon.